If you've been playing Wuthering Waves for a while, you might have noticed the variety of characters and the different main roles that various content creators promote. But I bet you've never seen anyone talk about Yanwu. I think there are two main reasons for this. First, his design isn't for everyone. I'll be honest, not everyone has a refined taste like mine. I was shocked from the first day I saw him, because he's so different from other characters from other gachas. You just need to ignore the fedora and he's absolutely peak. The second reason is that, honestly, it doesn't perform very well. Hold on a second. He's a victim of the tier list. But don't worry, I'm here to help you. If you don't follow the meta, I'll give you a hand to make your Yanwu capable of handling a good amount of content. Disclaimer, before I start the video, this build hasn't been tested on the higher floors of the Tower of Adversity yet, but it managed to complete the first difficulty without some DPS or a healer. In fact, they aren't built. And if you are willing, leave a like or a comment or a sub to make me rise a little in the algorithm. Thanks. Let's start with the skills. We'll begin with the basic attack, which is a simple combo of 5 attacks and an heavy attack. The scaling, remember, is entirely attack based, and it's not terrible scaling considering the attack speed. The resonance skill places a large electric pillar, and when the pillar is placed, every attack made within its area will proc a instance of damage. This also applies when Yanwu is off-field, making him a decent sub DPS, but that's not what we're here for. His forte circuit allows him to buff himself by increasing his attack speed and increasing his vibration removal. You always want this on and will make parrying very easy since he will attack non-stop. You have to remember though that the forte circuit bar will not charge when the buff is on effect, so the buff management is important. He also gets a new attack in his combo that activates after making a heavy attack followed by a basic attack. When you activate this buff, the pillar will explode, dealing massive area damage, so don't forget to place it right after. His ultimate is very simple, it deals area damage with a big punch and activates the force circuit buff. His inherent skills are a simple damage buff and an increase in the pillar's area of effect. Very simple, right? Looking at scaling, you'll notice something. All except the normal attacks scales on defense. Even online guides suggest building defense. And they wouldn't be entirely wrong because honestly, if you play him as a sub DPS, you need a lot of defense. But if you want to play him as a main DPS, I've tried playing him as a main DPS with full defense and I assure you it was terrible. This is due diminishing return. To make it simple and understandable for everybody, let me say that if you add a percentage multiple times to a low number, after a while the gain becomes relatively negligible. So, knowing that the majority of our damage instance will come from normal attack, we'll use attack as the main stat in the slot 1 in the cost 1, opting for rolls in crit damage, crit rate and a bit of defense to compensate. Since the scaling is low, we'll also use 2 elemental bonuses in cost 3 and appropriate crit rate in cost 4, recommending Tempest Mephis or Thundering Mephis. I prefer Tempest because its skill is simple and fast. The priority of stats will be crit rate, crit damage, elemental damage, skill, basic attack damage, defense, attack. But if you want him to be a sub DPS, invest well in defense and resonance skill damage, along with the obvious crit rate and crit damage. As for the weapon, we'll use a Meteor Accord, which is perfectly made for him, as if it were a signature, and has all the stats that compensate the attack focus given in the Echo. Before moving on to the gameplay, let's talk about the team. If you're playing Yanwu, the supports you offer aren't very important, but it's recommended to have Verina and another sub DPS flex slot. Give your support Rejuvenating Glow and Moonlit Clouds. For the premium team, you can obviously add Yinlin, but if you invested in her, you probably use Calcharo and not Yanwu. But if you are a pro gamer, given the low field time required, a sub DPS team could be Calcharo, Yinlin and Yanwu, creating a storm on the battlefield. Moving on to the gameplay, it's very simple. Entering the battlefield, place the pillar, use your supports in the right rotation to get attack buffs, use your echo immediately and use a heavy attack plus ultimate, creating 10-15 seconds of buff frenzy to destroy everything using your normal attack combo. To conclude, I want to say that Yanwu is a rather weak character who lacks a bit of identity, but that doesn't mean that he's not extremely fun to play. Don't forget that you can use the build you farm on him on Calciaro, so it's not a waste of resources. His pros are really good: AoE tanky nature, fast attack speed, fun gameplay. His cons are bad damage output, requires hybrid building, non-consistent ultimate placement, and later his tankiness becomes useless, and everything will one-shot him. Also, he has some problem with holograms and bosses in general, but I think with time they will resolve this. So, say that, I will give Yanwu a 3 stars out of 5. By my heart, and I'm sure he's the most underrated character in the game, even if not the best performing, and I will try in the future to make him as strong as possible. Here anyway, my run of the Echoing Tower Floor 4. Have fun, and see you later.